Good evening. This is Stedman Fry, along with my co-host Amanda Goodman-Berry and Flex McGee, with Delta Workers Unite, the Working Class Podcast, your newest resource for news, updates, and information on the state of the union drive and how you can get involved. We'll bring you interviews and stories from workers just like you and us who want to share happenings as they see them. We'll also be debunking the falsehoods and misconceptions about the union and giving you the tools to do the same. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you will know when we post or go live. Thank you. Sorry. Good evening, everyone. It's Stedman Fry here in Detroit with Delta Workers Unite, the Working Class Podcast. It's me again, so that means we got another great show. We've got a guest on today who we really wanted to have for a while, someone we've talked about trying to organize time for, and because we do a lot more of the show pre-recorded, at least the interview portions, it's freed us up for that opportunity. So if you read the description or if you saw the post on the community post or any of the flyers going around, we've got a Delta employee from Canada named David Pinck, and he is a union member. I believe it's District 6 of United Steelworkers. He's going to say in the video, but I believe it's Local 1976. And he'll give a bit of his story, and we get into how he became unionized or how he maintained his union status, and what that's like working for Delta as a ramp agent. So you got a frontline employee, and kind of what that would look like for us. So it gives an opportunity to see we've got a union in this company in various places. So we've had a pilot on. And now we've got a ramp agent in Canada who is unionized. So I'll put that video up. And, as I said, he's a guest we've wanted to have for a while. And really just glad to finally be able to get him on and have this interview with you all, because I think it's really informative. I'm going to do my best to clip this up as quickly as possible. But here we go. And if I could unmute the video.
Hey. Welcome to the Delta Workers Unite podcast and the working class. I'm honored to be here with you today, and we have some good stuff coming your way today. We have a very special guest that is with us today. I'm Amanda Goodman-Berry. I'm out of Minneapolis. I'm your co-host, and I allow my next co-host to introduce himself, and then we'll pass it over to the host for today. Stephanie, will you introduce yourself to the Delta workers?
Hey, it's Stedman Fry here in Detroit, 18 years on the ramp. As Amanda said, it's a good show, a guest we've been wanting to have for a while. So I'll pass it to Flex to introduce himself and the guest.
Hey, everybody, what's good? Flex McGee, ATL. Excited for another dope podcast. Still always happy to be here representing for the people with the people. And I'd like to introduce a good friend of ours, a Delta Ramp employee from Canada, Montreal, I believe, our brother David Pinck. And I want you to come in, Dave, introduce yourself, man, and just, let the people know who you are.
Thank you so much, Flex. My American brothers and sisters, I can't thank you enough for the opportunity to be here. My name is David Pinck. Yeah, I have 26 years with Northwest Airlines and Delta. We're the surviving employee group. I'm a union rep with United Steelworkers Local 1976. I love my job. I love working for Delta. Uh, our our union is proof that we can coexist. And I want to thank you once again for the invitation.
Absolutely. Stephen, let's start out with a round of applause for David Pinck.
Yeah, let's give it up. Let's give
Let's
it
give
up.
it
Let's
up
give
for
it up.
David.
You guys are too kind.
All right, Fleck, kick us off.
All right, man. So y'all know how I roll, man. I like to get right into the nitty gritty of things. Hey, just Dave, if you can actually just explain what it's like being a represented ramp worker for Delta Airlines. Like, tell us things about how your daily interactions with the company is. Do you still feel like you're part of the family? Are there situations where, really, what I want to know, do they play anti-union messages in your break rooms? Like, just give us kind of a little rundown of how things work with you guys.
Well, yeah, Flex. I mean, they don't play anti-union messages in our break room because we are Delta employees. We are Delta employees, but we are contract employees. We have a collective bargaining agreement, and I'm extremely proud to be a Delta employee. I'm equally proud to be a union representative for my local of the United Steelworkers. And we have a tremendous collective bargaining agreement, tremendous. My day at work is probably not that much different than yours, other than we have a collective bargaining agreement that governs our work rules, our work rules, our rest period, our salary, shift trades, so many other things. And my job is to ensure that the company respects the CBA. If there are disputes with excessive discipline or there's violations of the agreement, we have a grievance process. And we can submit a grievance. There's a step 1, a step 2, and a decision whether if it's denied to withdraw it or go to arbitration. So there's a lot of checks and balances. That's not to say they're used all the time, because once again, the relationship between our local and Delta is extremely positive and fundamentally strong.
Hey, I love to hear that, man. As a matter of fact, I love to hear that last part so much that I'm gonna ask Fry for me to give me a round of applause for that, because I don't think Delta employees. Yeah, man. Being being able to hear that from a Delta employee, because people think that everything's gonna be doom and gloom, and like they're not gonna have respect for us, and because they're gonna make it seem like your manager, because you unionize, they're gonna all of a sudden they're gonna they're gonna be pushed back and not be willing to work with you. So to be able to hear from a contract or a Delta employee with the contract to say the opposite of that, yeah, as always, man, that's worth its weight in gold. Next question for you is:
Yeah,
you were just talking
yeah,
about your resolution. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
absolutely. Yeah, sorry, Fleck. Absolutely.
No, go
The
ahead.
other thing is, you had mentioned health and safety. I'm also health and safety rep for my station. Now, Delta has its health and safety policies in place. But we also have here the Canada Labor Code, especially Canada Labor Code Part 3, which really governs health and safety here in the country. And Delta has been nothing but cooperative in adhering to the Canada Labor Code and giving us all the tools that we need. That being said, our local's position and our membership's position is strengthened by the Canada Labor Code. But Delta has been nothing but cooperative in respecting that code. After all, it is the law anyway. So there are some differences, I think, in jurisdiction and how certain things are governed between Canada and the United States. But it's such a great relationship. Yeah.
Thank you,
Can I
brother.
interject real quick? Something
You
with David.
always can interject. Always.
Absolutely. So, David, so let me make sure that the workers can hear what you're saying, and we really truly understand what you're saying. You're saying that the workers there in Canada does not have an unwelcoming relationship, that you guys have a positive relationship with Delta versus the relationship that what we're experiencing here in the United States, where they're fighting us not to be unionized. They're doing everything that it's unlawful to keep us from being unionized. Are you saying that in Canada that you guys have a great relationship with the company?
Correct. But that being said, Amanda, so our situation, we pre-existed before the merger, and Delta had no choice but to respect the law and respect our collective bargaining agreement. So ours, I mean, we're here to stay. This is us, and we're in perpetuity, the way I see it. So Delta really have no choice, and the United Steelworkers don't have a choice but to coexist. So there is a difference there. We're here, and so are they. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, I know your struggle. I know it's a difficult one. Other than that, I don't really know what to say, but we're here to stay. And I think there's a tremendous amount of respect on both sides.
Wow. Wow.
Thank you.
I hope we get to say that one day, David.
Absolutely.
I hope so too, man.
I hope we get to say that one day. All right, Flex.
Hey, Fry, anything you want to chime in on it? I don't want to leave you out of the conversation.
Yeah, so
Yeah, is
I
that
know we've
Fry?
heard the story.
Is it Fry?
Yeah, Fry. Yep.
Fry from Detroit. I did my initial ramp training in Detroit.
Oh, okay.
What's up with today?
Yeah, what up though? So
Building
I know we've
C.
heard.
Building C.
Oh, so that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the
So
old
I
Reed
know
and
we.
Rye.
Oh yeah, Weed and Rye still there. Weed and Rye still there. It's still a hangout
Yeah,
spot.
but the old
It's like
one, it was a log cabin.
Oh yeah, the old one. Yeah.
Yeah, Flex.
So I
Yeah.
know we've heard the story about how you managed to stay, because you talked about it into perpetuity, that you're unionized in Montreal. If you could kind of give that backstory for the viewers who haven't heard it, how did you manage to be a unionized Delta employee, and maybe tell a little bit more about your backstory, just to kind of expand on that for those who might be confused about it, who haven't heard your story before.
All right, Flex. So once again, Northwest Airlines and Delta merged. The Delta employee group here in Canada was not unionized. The Northwest employee group was. We had a collective bargaining agreement with a no outsource clause in our collective bargaining agreement. And in the end, Delta furloughed their employees, and the surviving employee group of the merger were the Northwest Airlines employees. So their initial position was it's null and void, but it's not. or it wasn't, and we were the surviving employee group. And now we're into our third collective bargaining agreement with Delta. It's a fantastic deal. And we are the highest paid in the industry in the country right now. I'm visualizing other unionized groups like American will probably, hopefully, surpass us. But we're ahead of American, we're ahead of Air Canada, and we have a defined pension plan that we've maintained. And we share all the benefits that you guys share. So we're proof that unionized or contract workers in Delta can coexist.
Hey, give us a round of applause for that too.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, something.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I love my job. I love my job as a union rep. We have a collective agreement, and I really believe that Delta does everything it can to respect it. As we do, there are at times crossroads, and that's where the grievance process comes into play.
All right. All right. All right. I hope you stop talking. I don't know. I thought I might have a little glitch in there. But hey, that all of that is beautiful, man. I want to know if you can explain to the people, because you said you have everything that we have. I want to know if you could explain to the people how, if you have a safety concern or if you have a grievance, like how are your grievances handled per your contract with Delta
All
Airlines,
right.
and how's that relationship?
So if there is a violation by the company on the agreement, we grieve it. If we deem that, or even excessive discipline under the agreement, or there's an article violated by the company, whether it be, as an example, your rest period or start time, or being bypassed for an overtime call-in, there's a grievance process. So if we deem that there was a violation, we put in a grievance, step one. The company has 15 days to either accept it or deny it. If it's denied and we want to push forward, we go to step two. There's a time period. There can be a request for an extension on either side. And then if step two is denied, the union decides whether or not we're going to arbitration, which is binding by an arbitrator, but that's avoided pretty much at all costs because it's very expensive on both sides. An arbitrator is basically a judge who will give a binding decision.
Right, right. I
Mm,
appreciate you thoroughly explaining that. Thank you, thank you.
yeah, yeah.
Let me ask you another question, because since you brought up overtime, how does overtime work at Delta in Canada? Because at Delta
All right,
in the
so
United States
anything in
is hold
excess
on,
of
wait,
4
hold on,
hours.
wait. Let me finish, Dave. Let me finish, because I want you to understand what our overtime is before you explain what yours is, and it might be the same. I don't know, but like our overtime is done really off of who they want to stay, or how much, who, like, they pick who. It's a pick and choose situation. I really I hate using this, but it's like a more of a favoritism type thing. It can be at times. So some people who want to work overtime can't or work overtime because all of the OSM's favorites have already received the overtime. How is overtime equalized and treated fairly in under your contract agreement? I apologize for cutting you off, brother. I just wanted to make
What?
sure I preference that.
No, what a great question, Flex. So it is completely different. So obviously, your overtime is decided arbitrarily. Our overtime is decided by seniority and equalization. So if there's overtime posted, a 4 hour call in, there has to be a call-in starting at the top of seniority all the way down. That overtime will be awarded to the senior agent. But now there is an equalization process which stops the senior agent continually getting every overtime. So the collective agreement allows the overtime to be spread out and go on a seniority basis to a certain extent. So obviously, there is absolutely no pick and choose, no favoritism. It's all done accordingly as per the CBA.
So what you're saying is it because I just don't want to confuse people because you said seniority and equalization. Equalization is a number system that everybody on shift has to be offered the same amount of overtime, correct?
Correct.
Okay, but when you say seniority comes into place when the two numbers are equal, then it goes to the senior person.
Exactly, Flex, exactly.
Right. I understand. I just want you to, just so you know, all three of us are all pre-merger Northwest employees. So I understand equalization, but if I say it and you say it, it's just different. Like, you know what I'm saying? When I say it, it's just, oh, this guy is this. But when you're saying it per how your contract works, people can hear it a little different. So I get what you're saying, but I just want to make sure that we're clear that it's just not I'm senior to Fry and Amanda is senior to me. So it goes Amanda, Flex, Fry every time. And that's not how it works. It's a number of hours that you accumulate or you could have worked. So people understand that. So everybody fairly is offered overtime. It's not a situation where Flex is cool with the OSM, so I can get overtime every day. But because Dave, you're not as friendly with him, you get overtime once every 2 weeks.
Yeah, and Flex, then we could go to IROPS, right? So if there's an IROP and it's voluntary, it will go to the senior agent. If there's IROP and there's no voluntary, it's involuntary, the junior agent will stay. The senior will go home.
Right. And I think when people talk about, I'm glad you're bringing this up because I know in Atlanta, throughout our system, we have mandatory freezes, but in Atlanta, they don't necessarily mandatory freeze. So they don't believe that they can be frozen at work or told, hey, if you don't have this seniority, you can't do this, even though it happens in so many of our stations. So in a freeze, like you said, freezes are done in reverse seniority order. So if you don't have a certain amount of time, you have to stick around and help the operation. If you're over the time of the seniority date, you can stay, you can voluntarily stay still, but you can leave because your seniority date is beyond the amount of people that they say they're going to need. So I just wanted to make sure that I just want to clarify what we're speaking of because everybody might not hear that. Because one thing I know in Atlanta that we always hear is Southwest make all that money, but they can be made to stay overtime. They can't make us stay here. And that's not true. But in Atlanta, they don't freeze. They just deal with it as it comes. If they got 2 people stay or they get 400 people to stay, they just deal with whatever they get. And that's part of the arbitrary rules that everybody has to deal with. You know, and that's part of the reason why we're organizing, to make sure that everybody is treated the same and fairly. So I appreciate you really, y'all, digging into the overtime. Amanda, Fry, y'all know I'm not the host because, you know, I want to make sure you guys, I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to jump in. Like I got to put my Amanda face on and make sure that everybody gets the opportunity to say stuff. Because, you know, I'll be having a whole conversation and I'll be forgetting. And I apologize.
You got,
but go ahead,
because my voice is here and there. Hit me.
I got you.
But David, what I would like to is that I'm very intrigued with the fact that your relationship with Delta isn't always an antagonist. You guys, from what you're saying is that, and I really want this to be heard because I think the workers need to know that having a union doesn't mean that we would disagree all the time, that we can't have a great relationship with the company and be unionized. And I really would like for you to explain that in a way. What is the day of David and his coworkers with Delta Airlines? When you walk into work, do you feel safe? Do you feel protected? Do you feel a sense of family? Do you feel like you have the protection if needed to if something should go wrong at work with Delta? I would like for that to be explained just a little bit, because a lot of people think with having a union that there is no protection. Do you feel protected when you come into to work every day?
Absolutely, I feel protected. But at the same time, I don't think there is a huge need to feel protected. I think our local already gives us a sense of security. But that being said, I tremendously value the company I work for, and I love going to work every day. And ultimately, everyone has a responsibility to perform their task at hand and do what they have to do to show up on work on time, and conduct themselves accordingly. But to answer your question, yeah, there is that extra level of protection, Amanda, being a contract worker, being unionized. And it is a good feeling, but it is sort of a rite of passage here. So I think we're probably spoiled in that regard. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but that's how it is here. We have to coexist, so we both make the best of it.
Understood. 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 All right, Flex.
Hey, Fry, go ahead, man. I know you got something to jump in with as well.
Well, I think it's more of a comment than a question, but I think it's important to hear how highly you speak of the company, right? You have a union, you're a union employee. As Amanda said, you don't have an antagonistic relationship with the company. You value your job, you value your work, you feel like the company values your work. And so I think that's something that the employees need to hear. The viewers need to hear this. You know, being in a union does not have to be an antagonistic relationship, right? Or organizing shouldn't be an antagonistic relationship. It's illegal for us to do here in America. And we shouldn't have this resistance and this pushback, because we want, or we think as a group, that there's a better way for us to organize our voices around our interests as employees. And, you know, that's kind of one of the misconceptions I feel like you see most often, is people thinking that because you want a union necessarily means that you're dissatisfied completely, when, you know, it's possible that you think that a union will help you to shore up some loose ends or to make up some deficiencies, you know, consolidating our voice as a unit of workers. So I kind of just want to highlight that more than ask a question, because, like I said, it's
that is really well said, Fry. Yeah, very well said.
Thanks. So
very well said, Fry.
Give yourself a hand clap, Statman.
I one question I would like, you know, because I remember hearing you speak about this on Roland Martin. If you could kind of give us the procedure or the process for you to negotiate your new contract with Delta, when you come down to Atlanta and you meet with the CEO or whoever is responsible for that, what's that process like? Is it painful? Is it painless? Kind of lay that out for the viewers, if you would.
Yeah, well, I tell you, Flex, I mean, yeah, each has their negotiating committee, and you know, as per the code, there's notification to begin negotiations usually 4 months previous to the end of the contract, and it's a process. And each side, I mean, we're always so well prepared. We present our bargaining position, our propositions, our our wish list, and they do the same. And negotiations are complex. If you haven't done them, it's hard to explain, but it's a process. And our relation, I remember our head negotiator from the USW, Troy, is stepping down. We have a new guy. So he was sitting in on negotiations in Atlanta for the first time. And his first day, and this guy is a guy that negotiates with Canadian National, Canadian Pacific. I mean, some really tough relationships, right? And he came in, and we came in that morning in Atlanta, and I said this on Roland Martin, and there was such pleasantries and shaking hands and hugging. And we went up to our boardroom, and Derek's like, "Hey, man, what's with all the hugging?" You know, so he wasn't used to that. But in the end, yeah, that's what it is. That's not to say we at times don't have our differences, but it's all about respect and negotiating in good faith as per the code, as per the Canada Labor Codes, right? And I think that both sides have done that repeatedly.
So, Flex,
Yo,
you jump back in, and I got too many questions. I want to get the elephant out the room for our young workers, our very junior workers, but I'll let you go. And I just
I
got
want to
two.
wait though. I want to peek at that though. I know where I think I feel like I know where you're going. I want to kind of peek at that.
Yes,
You
go
know what
ahead.
I'm saying? But
Yes,
I want to make sure make sure people heard that he said it was all about respect for
yes,
that process. And I think
yes,
that's the one thing that as a Delta worker, currently I speak for myself only, and you know anybody else who hears this and wants to clap along and in the comments, man, put your clapping hands together whenever this airs. Yo, I don't feel respected at work, but to hear a Delta worker that does feel respected at work, man, it just I feel good because you feel because you can say it. Because I definitely don't feel it here, and I work in Atlanta, so I just not. It's good to hear. That's a good thing.
yes, yes,
I
yes.
kind of want
I'm sorry to
to.
hear that, Flex.
No,
Hopefully things
bro. Don't feel bad for
will
us.
move forward.
Yeah, no, yeah. Don't feel bad for us, man. That's why we doing this. That is the main reason. This ain't a sob story. Ain't none of this about oh man, those poor guys in the states or yeah. This is about a group of people who are willing to fight for the respect that we deserve and that we earn. And I just if don't nobody understand nothing that like that's what this whole movement is about. Is about respect more than anything. They don't respect us the way we do. That I feel and many of us feel that they should. So don't feel bad for us. You know, we're gonna be good and we're gonna keep fighting. And I've said that before and I will continue to say that. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep fighting till we
Well,
cross the finish line.
I do.
We're gonna fight some more.
Yeah, well, let me
Go ahead,
be,
brother.
with all due respect to what you said there, Flex. It's heartbreaking to hear that, but it's very rare that I say to myself, geez, I got to go to work today. You know, I love my job. I
Wow.
love the Montreal station. I love my Delta managers, and I'm a unionized worker. So we have our differences, yes. And we both have a job to do with regards to the collective agreement. But yeah, I mean, here, I believe that Delta is a great place to work.
And that's dope. Bro, Ace Fry, give us a hand clap to Delta workers that's respected in the workplace. Give it up. Give them a little more, Fry. Give them one more just to make sure we understand what we're here for. Yeah, give them one more. Thank you. Amanda, I swear I had a line of questions that was coming up, but you done kind of shifted my focus.
That's
Because
okay.
I know what the elephant. No, I know what that elephant in the room. I know. But the one thing I wanted to say before we get to that, we can drop that. I wanted to ask you. You said earlier that you guys are the highest paid in the industry in your country. What does that feel like?
It feels great. But you always hope there's a company with a collective agreement that surpasses you, right? I believe Americans in negotiations now, but they're not ramp, they're above wing. The only rampers that exist in Montreal are that are unionized, that work for their company, is Delta Airlines and Air Canada. Everything else is outsourced. Everything.
I got you. And I respect
so
that.
What was the question again, Flex?
What does it feel like to be the top paid in the industry on your level? Because that's something that we don't. If we have experienced it, but it hasn't months, weeks, days. Knowing that, like you said, if somebody passes you, you're still you get a chance to renegotiate. How does that feel?
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works. Now it's funny we're talking about remuneration because sometimes during negotiations or after agreement, they pointed what you guys make an hour. But it's like apples and oranges. I believe your remuneration is more than ours, but you have healthcare costs. I don't know exactly what your 401k is, but our benefits are great. We have a defined pension plan where Delta pay the contributions, which has been maintained, and a supplementary plan where we put in 2, they match 2. So, and then factor in the Mexican employees that are unionized, right? So, and we have socialized medicine, so you can't really compare the 2 or the 3, right?
Dave,
we do well, and I'm so proud of this agreement. I really am.
Hey, brother. Hey, one more time, Fry. Clap it up for the agreement, man. That's Delta workers making it work. Let me jump in there too. Hey, Dave, you said something that was important. Like when you spoke about retirement, which some people don't really think about because they might feel a little younger. You talked about having a defined pension, and you talked about having like a supplemental income that was coming in. That might not be like a 401k, but it might be like I want to say what was a 403 or something like that. I don't know what yours is called in Canada. What is the contributions?
All right,
like, first of all, how does it work? That's what I want to ask. Let's discuss how that works. And then after we go through this, because Amanda's chomping at the bits, I want to let Amanda rock.
No. Do it. This is important.
All right.
Go ahead, Dave.
After the merger, we managed to maintain our Northwest Airlines pension plan, which was a defined plan where the company entirely pays our contributions. The problem was Delta haven't increased those contributions in 20 years. So now going to the third agreement, $20 20 years ago is not $20 what it is today. So if you take our defined plan, someone that retired 20 years ago, their monthly remuneration would be the same as someone retiring with 20 years today or 30 years today.
Mm-hmm.
You follow? Because
no inflation costs increase
those contributions. So someone with 30 years that retired 20 years ago would be making the same as someone with 30 years that retired today. So
I got
for
you.
me, that was unacceptable. So we pretty much had a deal in Atlanta, and my misgiving was I'm not going back to my membership without doing something for retirement security. So we managed to negotiate a supplementary plan. It's not great, but it's something. So that plan is we put in 2 and Delta match 2. Plus, we maintain our defined benefit.
No, that's great. That's great, bro. Like on a real,
Yeah.
like give some claps for that too. Like that, those are things that, yeah. Having a negotiator willing to go in there. Did you hear what their negotiator said? I wasn't willing to go back to my membership and without more. You know, and it sounds like, you know, I was saying 403, but it's probably like a deferred account. I remember my pops talking about those when I was a kid. But that's great. Because currently we only get, I think we get 7%. You have to put in 7% for them to match 7%. Otherwise, you just get 4% put into Delta if you don't put anything in. I could be wrong with those numbers. Y'all know
okay, I mean, that's not bad, Flex. I mean,
I'm not. It's not about it being bad, but we don't have defined pension. We don't have defined pension at all. So that whether it was 30 years ago or not, there aren't many of us left with my pension numbers are like $300, $400, $500. And they're froze. So
and
like only thing we have now is what we put in.
Yeah, and the good thing about our plan is it's not hedged, meaning after you retire, no matter what you make, it stays the same. And if you will receive that money every month till the day you die. If you have a death benefit, your spouse will get 2/3 of the pension till the day she dies. So it's a pretty good plan. But that being said, Delta want out of that plan. And
I'm sure they do. They want to make y'all like us.
Yeah.
No survivor benefits.
So they're locked in, so it is what it is.
You know, Dave. Before I do want to move past this as well, but I just want comparison is the thief of joy. So I don't want to make it seem like I'm doing a direct comparison. I'm just really trying to explain to Delta workers what else is out there. And when your workers see this, they might feel like what we have is different. Like, because I hear you saying, "Oh, well, that's good." To us, it's not good. You know, for what we have to like pay for. Like, I don't. Well, let me ask one more question before I let it go to a minute. Do you guys have any type of retiree health care? Oh, well, actually, you're in Canada, so healthcare is not an issue, right?
No, so socialized medicine exists here. It's universality, rich or poor. Private medicine is creeping in, but healthcare is not a problem. We have negotiated a health insurance plan. There are certain things that are not covered by RAMQ, or as an example, healthcare is a provincial jurisdiction or state jurisdiction. So our private insurance covers a lot. For instance, dental is not covered by the government here, but it's covered by our private insurance, Sun Life, through Delta. And certain other things are covered by Sun Life. We have glasses that are covered. You have $200 a month. We negotiated a health spending benefit, which is $300 a year, which can be rolled over for the second fiscal year to $600, which can cover anything in terms of health that is not covered by your plan. So our health is really a jurisdiction that is covered in so many ways, whether it be through government or through our private insurance.
Hey man, that's something else I need to give a hand clap for, because people don't realize everything that the government gives you ain't always enough. Like, just because it's a federal law don't mean that it's going to completely cover you when you need you. And having a union actually gives you extra coverage on the things you need, not just in health benefits, but just across the board. I don't want people to think that, oh, well, you know, we got federal laws for this. I know this happens a lot in Atlanta. We got federal laws for this. A lot of time, federal law is the bare minimum. It's the base, and you need a little more. And that's what being union, that's where your union dollars go. And I just wanted to make sure people understand that. But Dave, I appreciate you kicking into that. I'm gonna ask Stedman if he got anything to ask real quick, because after Stedman go, we gonna kick in Ms. Goodman, and we really gonna get into the juice. We gonna get some tea for the people. What you got, Fry?
Again, it's more of a comment, because as I'm listening, I'm learning, I'm listening, really trying to see how we can bring this message to the workers here in the U.S. so that they can grasp what we're up against. And you know, when you talked about negotiation and you talked about the pension and that increase or the lack of increase, or I guess it would be like a cost of living adjustment. We got a raise and we had no input. So whether that raise satisfies the cost of living for all of us or not, you got a nominal raise. You know, you can say, or Delta will put in the newspaper that they gave their employees a raise and whatever. But have you, it's, you know, it just started, but have you felt that? Do you think you'll feel 4%? With the economy the way it is, with the cost of things the way it is, me and Flex were talking before the show a little bit, just how much stuff costs. Go to the grocery store and see how much less groceries and products you can purchase now relative to what you were paying for that same amount of goods last year. You know, we have no say. When the workers in Canada, you know, had an issue, they negotiated a better option. Even they have health care at a national level, and their union negotiated supplementary health care for dental. You don't have a say. You know, as an American worker for Delta Airlines, you don't have a say. You are, or I'll speak for the ramp, because we've had a pilot on who has talked, and you know, the dispatchers are unionized as well. But as a ramp employee, as a flight attendant, we have flight attendants on, as a cargo employee, as a tower employee, you don't have a say so. You're at the mercy of whatever the company feels like doing, or whatever they want to give you for PR and optics. But is that good enough? Is the 4% hitting your pockets in a way that makes a difference in your light bill, in your grocery bill, in your gas, in your car and auto maintenance, in your home? Is that making a difference? And if the answer is no, sign your card. Get involved. You have nothing to fear, because as I said in the previous show, and Brother Kip, who's not with us for this show, said to us, if you stay the same, as Brother David has shown us, if you stay the same, it's going to get worse, because the same is not good enough. Things change. We have to change. We have to have the opportunity to bargain for ourselves, right? If we stay at the same level, their contributions to their pension had not increased in 20 years. That was worse over time because it was insufficient. We cannot continue to be at the mercy of this company. We want to be happy, unionized workers like David. We want to enjoy our job and be happy to come into work with the freedom of knowing that we have a voice, that we have clear rules, and that we are going to be compensated for what we do sufficiently. This is what we're asking for, not a handout, right? We want just compensation, just and fair for the work we put in. We want the right to say, hey, we need more. So I'll stop there. I appreciate giving me the time and space.
That's okay. That's
Hey,
okay.
Brian, that was well said, bro. Perfect. Really well
Mandolin,
said,
it's on
John.
you.
So, David,
Now,
we're going to bring this down to some of our very junior, very new people, new hires. Two of the big questions that I want to ask you is basic is what the people want to hear. As a union Delta worker, do you still have flight benefits? Has Delta ever taken your flight benefits because you're union?
Absolutely not. We share the same flight benefits as you. We have our 8S3s, unlimited S2s, even the confirmed passes that have been awarded, example, during the outage. We're treated equally as you are with regards to benefits. I know that things are being told to you differently, but all I can say is that we share all of those things.
So just to be clear, and I'm one of those, just to be clear, forgive my voice, I say that again, just to be clear, to our new hires, to our 5-year people, to our 10-year people, to our senior people, as I would say seasoned people, that we will not lose our travel benefits just because we're union. Is that right, David?
Well, I mean, maybe Delta is saying that will have to be negotiated. I can't speak for you, but what I can say is we have a collective bargaining agreement, and we are entitled to those benefits.
Wow. Wow. Thank you, David. Thank you. Now, my last elephant that I want to take out the room, once again, to our very new people who really, really feel the importance of profit sharing. Do we share the same profit sharing?
Correct. Our profit sharing exists. It is not contractual. Once again, profit sharing is not contractual. But that being said, I feel that Delta tries to treat Canadian employees equally with regards to the benefits that you share. So we do share profit sharing, but I mean, profit sharing could be taken away with one stroke of the pen, to us or to you for that matter, because it's not contractual. So it's a benefit that we're grateful for.
Thank you, David. Go ahead, Flex.
now I just want to chime in on this because, and David, you probably haven't seen that show. We did have Brother Ryan come in from the Pilots Association and explain that for them it is contractual. I highly doubt that Delta would give them profit sharing and not give the rest of us profit sharing. That's just my opinion on that. I can't. I'm not. I don't want to make that. Well, Flex said, because I know that's what y'all will do. Everybody will say, "Well, Flex said." I just don't believe that they would do that. As it's in their contract. It could possibly be in the Canadian workers' next contract. It will be something that we would definitely fight for in our contract when we get to the table. So I want people to believe that, understand, not just believe, but understand and believe that that is something nobody is looking to lose. It ain't a person handing out a union card that don't believe we don't deserve profit sharing. That's just not how that works. So I just want to make sure people understand. Dave, I'm glad you said that because I want to be transparent in everything that we do. I don't want to omit anything. So you say that it's not contractually for you guys currently. It's not a contractual issue, but it could be on your next contract, depending on what you guys go in there fighting for. So I just want people to understand how it works. But I doubt that they're going to say they're not going to punish us for unionizing by saying we're not going to give you like profit sharing. And the Canadian workers are proof of that. So don't let profit sharing be the reason why you don't sign a card. Understand what it is you go through. You hear this man talking. David's in here telling you how happy he is to go to work. I can tell you that it's very rare. I'm always happy to be able to get up and go make a living. Where I have to go to do it, that's not always the case for me. I don't like being disrespected at work. I don't like being unheard at work. I don't like being placed at blame and placed at fault for everything that happens that doesn't happen. Because when things happen, it's Delta workers make it happen. But when Delta workers don't make it happen, it's what can we have done differently to make something different? I don't like that. I don't like any of that. I don't like the way my coworkers and myself are treated in our job and our responsibilities. I don't like that the company doesn't have accountability for what situations they put us in. That is the stuff that I don't like, and that's what I fight for change for. But Brother David, I do appreciate you explaining that profit sharing thing, because that is such a huge issue with Amanda. First of all, shout out to you for bringing up profit sharing and flight benefits, because I hear about that more than I hear about respect in the workplace.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
And it's a big deal to the workers because a lot of the workers live in different countries and they just want to go home and see their families. A lot of workers look forward to the profit sharing because profit sharing, when it comes, it is a big little lump sum, but it's not a living. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to point that out, that as a Canadian worker, we do share the profit sharing, even though David is saying it's not contractual, but it's something that they do get. But it shouldn't stop you from wanting more. So we have a desire to want more. And I do believe that we can have that, if we all come together and unionize Delta around the world, not just in Canada. It can be done. So when David right here has this big smile on his face, and you can tell David means that he actually really enjoy coming to work. So I kudos to you, David, because I want all
Hey,
of
Amanda,
us.
thank you. Well said. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you
Absolutely.
so much.
And kudos for you just being a part of this. I just want to really dive into the thank you of you being on this show with us, because I want to laugh at you about something on Roland Martin when Roland said, and they buy you a birthday cake too. And you said, yeah, I want our birthday cake back too.
Yeah.
I want our birthday cake back too. So basically, David,
And
thank you
they
so
did.
much. Well, I want my cake too.
Oh,
So
man. You guys are great, man. You guys are great. Listen, I can't tell you what a pleasure it is to be on here and help you guys out. And I just like, your honesty, and at the same time, your positivity. There's a way to go about this, and you guys are doing it in the right way. And I just really appreciate you as much as you say you appreciate me. So thank you so much.
you are so welcome. Give him a hand clap, Statman. That was a hand clap moment.
Speaking of which, I can't tell you here. I'm back. I can't wait to get back at work tomorrow, because you know what comes after 2 days off in Montreal? Sun and work, because it's been raining every day's off of mine for the past month.
Well, the sun is coming out, David.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
But
Tomorrow. I
you know
expect you to
what?
put it back. Go ahead,
Tomorrow will be a glorious day at work.
David.
It'll be a glorious day at work. And if you are in your workplace and you can enjoy every day and not consistently wish for your days off or your vacation, but enjoy every day of the way you make a living, is half the battle. And
Wow. Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
And the
So,
United Steelworkers have been a huge part of my life over the past 15 years. And
wow.
it's a national local, and they've done a tremendous, tremendous. A union is here to take care of your brother. That's what a union's for. So to be in such a great collective and work for such a great company, I couldn't be luckier. I'm not saying it's not a struggle at times, but hey, couldn't be happier.
Wow.
Man, thank
Wow.
you.
Thank
Clap
you,
it up.
David.
Give him some more, Stabby. Give him a little more, man.
Thank
Yeah.
you, David.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and unless Amanda or Fry have more questions, I really want to bring this thing to a close. So I'll swing it to Fry real quick to see what you got to say.
Uh, yeah, I don't. I'll close. I'll say my closing. David, we wanted to get you on the show for a while to talk to the viewers and explain how the process of being unionized works, what that looks like. As a Delta ramp employee who is a full employee of Delta Airlines in Canada, being unionized, what your interactions are like. And so, we appreciate you taking your time out to be here with us. And I really appreciate you telling your story and sharing that with us. I know, I believe at least that your story will help to motivate some of our coworkers to get more involved and to sign their cards and, to take a greater role in the future of their careers. Right. So I appreciate you being here, spending time with us, and thanks.
Fry, I can't thank
Thank you.
you enough for those kind words. Thank you so much. And and I think that you really realize I'm here to really help you guys in your struggle as much as I can. And Fry, that you've really said some nice things tonight. I can't thank you enough. Keep it up, brother.
Amanda Goodman Berry, Mandolin, what you got to say, man? I know you're gonna always rock the house, so
No, don't do it. You're gonna do it. But I just want to thank David for your honesty. I I thank you for even saying how you enjoy your job with Delta Airlines. Consider no matter what we feel, no matter what we go through at the job, I think that your honesty, and I just want to make sure we shed light on that because that is just as important as us not being so happy with what's going on with us, but the fact that you can say that I am happy working for Delta Airlines. I am happy going to work every day. I look forward to going to work every day. And I think that's a new slogan that the next time you see us, I hope that we can say that we have won and we're in here. And David, we're too happy to come to work and we share your joy. So I think that was totally just amazing and beautiful. And thank you for not shying away from what you like just because we have grievances that we need to work on. So thank you so much, David, for sharing with the workers that it is possible to have a good time at work, to enjoy coming to work, and to want to be at work. So thank you for that, David.
Oh, Amanda, I mean, hell, you're gonna make me cry. I mean, that's I mean, fantastic. Thank you so much, Amanda. I appreciate that so much, and I appreciate you and all of you. Thank you, Amanda, so much.
You
I
are
really,
so
really mean it.
welcome. Yes, you're welcome. All right,
hey,
let's
yes,
take it
thanks.
out of here.
No, I am gonna take it home. But one thing I want to do as we as a Delta employee and Delta workers, I definitely want to give Dave an opportunity to speak to his not just maybe our workers, but his workers in across Canada as well. Dave, I want to give you an opportunity to say whatever it is you would like to say to the Delta workers across the country. I just want to make sure that you heard because you're one of us, brother. So go ahead, man. Tell anybody anything you want to do.
Let's
Well, I
go,
tell you,
David.
Flex, thank you so much, Flex. And it's just an honor to be in all of your company. I mean, having been down there on Roland Martin and meeting a lot of you guys, it's just been a fantastic experience. And that was such an eye opener to me. Okay, going to New York and meeting you people and realizing what you're going through. And I respect you immensely for what you're doing. Okay, I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. And at the same time, I want you to understand that there's a positivity to unionization. I want everyone to realize that it doesn't necessarily all have to be gloom and doom, that unionization can mean peace for all. It really can. And I appreciate what you're going through. And I can't thank you enough, everyone, for inviting me. I really mean that. And I look forward to seeing you all again soon.
We're gonna hold you to that.
Absolutely.
Give it up for my brother real quick, Brian.
And Flex, thank you so much. You're for your positive vibe, and you seem like you're a great guy. And Amanda and Fry, you're great people. Keep it up.
Thank you, David. We
Thank
thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you.
And to all you Delta workers, keep it going. Card after card.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So, hey, here we are at the close of another amazing podcast. Let me tell you guys something real quick, man. When we first started this podcast, we didn't know where it was necessarily heading. We didn't know how we was going to make it there. We just knew that the one thing that we could draw on is the strength of the people. So what the three of us did, along with the people who were behind us and with us every day, the Kips, the Dans, if I start mentioning people, I'm going to forget everybody. So I just want to make sure every person in Atlanta, Minneapolis, Rob, Carlson, Richie from the IM, our AOs,
James
everybody.
Carlson, shout out to James.
There we go. Happy birthday. We're filming this on his birthday. So shout out to my brother James on his birthday. But I just want to explain to Delta people, like when we talk about us being Delta, being a family, what you saw tonight is what we were talking about. Us wrapping our hands and our arms around each other and being locked fists and just making sure that people understand that you're not alone. And everybody is in this together. Like we're in this fight and we're not fighting against each other because we have differences of opinion. Some of the stuff that you might have heard today from Brother Dave, you might have been like, but it's the truth. And his truth and our truth can collide sometimes, but we understand that it's like it's okay to agree to disagree on what's best for us. Canadian rules are different from American rules. We understand that, but we all have to get that voice at the table. We all have to stay locked in with each other, and we got to stay locked in with the steel workers for him in Canada. We staying locked in with the IAM here in Atlanta. As we evolve, we had a conversation recently about evolution and evolving as a union, as a movement. But our movement needs more people. Ultimately, if you really want this union like everybody says they do, I just need you to just pitch in and do a little more. If we all lift at one time, this union thing it's inevitable. We're Thanos at this point. And ain't no time stones or infinity stones can take us back to where we were. We moving forward like everything else in the world. So I just would like to say, Dave, thank you for coming. Amanda and Fry, thank you for co-hosting with me today. Thank everybody who watches this. If you can, like, comment, subscribe, share, please share. Our coworkers need to see this podcast. This should be our most shared podcast to date because the stuff that he said in this podcast are the questions and the things that we fight and struggle with every day. So please, if you see this, any part of it, any clip, please reference it. Please speak about it at work. Please speak about it in your households. Please speak about it in your neighborhoods. Let the world know that Delta workers are here and we demand respect. I love y'all. To the next one. Signing off.
Fry, well said. I love you guys. We're brothers. Amanda, Fry, Flex, we're brothers. Rock and roll.
Hey, real quick before we cut it. Hey, Dave, let me ask you a question. You a hockey fan?
Yeah.
If it wasn't for any Canadian team, you can't pick. Who do you pick? No Canadian teams.
The Red Wings.
No. Stop cheating.
What's that?
No. If you can't pick a Canadian team, who is your favorite American team? And you only get one answer, so make it right.
None.
Oh my God, that's the right answer for a Canadian. That's the right answer. I love you, brother, man. Thank you, man.
Hey, Flex, you're the best, bro.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Until next time, signing out.
You guys are the best. Hey,
Peace out. We'll see
Flex.
you next.
So, I hope you found that informative. The opportunity to speak with a Delta worker who is unionized in Canada. Right? Works for Delta. Is not a. He has a contract, but he's not a contract worker in the way that we understand that. Right? When we talk about Unify or Delta Global or something else. And this is just a point I've been thinking about. I've kind of been stewing on this. And 4% was really was, to me, it's insufficient. Right? And we talk about that in various ways. But we need to understand something. It is not too much to ask that a person who works full-time, 40 hours a week, make enough money from their job to be able to survive with one job, right? Ultimately, that's how you have to look at it. It's not a situation where we're asking for, riches and wealth in some great abundance. We just want to have enough money that you work a 40-hour-a-week job full time and you can survive wherever you live in this country, right? And so that's one of the big, pillars of why we're doing this, to have more of a say in what goes on. So 4% is not agreed upon by the work group, and so it's not implemented against our will or desire. Again, I said on the show, anything less than 10% was insufficient, and I'm factoring in cost of living increases and inflation, and the fact that we were already 9% under the leader before the raise. So again, when you work a full-time job 40 hours a week, you should be able to survive and thrive, really. Not just survive, not just scrape by, but to thrive anywhere in this country, especially for the most profitable airline in the country. That's it for the show. I'll do my closing as I always do. And I appreciate the engagement. I thought this would be a popular episode, and so I'm happy that it seems to have resonated with the viewers, and I hope, in the coming weeks as I get the clips out, or coming days as I get the clips out into more digestible pieces, more people will be able to see and get involved. But thanks for tuning in with us. If you have questions that were not answered, or maybe a specific topic you'd like to have addressed, leave us a comment or an email and we will get back to you. Also, all available links to information and materials are posted in the description. Again, if you want to report interference, if you want to request a card, or any of the other resources we have, I believe there's a link to Blue Notes in the description as well, but I'll have to check. Remember, this podcast is powered by working people just like you. In solidarity, peace.